Hey folks, Ranger here, and I'm back again with another video. But this time I'm going to do a different video. Since I've been acclimated to YouTube for quite a bit of time now, I thought, why not finally do a collection video? Yeah, that's fairly popular among YouTube, especially among the collecting community. So I thought I'd give my own twist to it. Now, what part of the reason I'm doing this is to showcase certain figures. Since I did a lot of posts on my old account, but we all know what happened to my old account, so I'm not gonna run through that shebang again. But yeah, so we're gonna go through all the figures and other memorabilia I own. I'm not gonna go over the artwork that you guys see on the walls here. That's gonna be its own video, I believe. So yep, so we're gonna mainly focus on some figures and other stuff. So without further ado, let us commence. So let's start it here off the top. Now I have a different style of rearranging my collection. On the top here, I like to call my alien faction shelf. So with the kaijus, I divided them up with factions. So similar to Godzilla Unleashed, it itself have factions. So you have the aliens, Earth Defenders, GDF, and mutants. And up here are the aliens, and right here are the mutants. So we're gonna start off with aliens first. And of course, starting up here is my memorabilia, my holy grail right now, my Bandai Monster series Kaiser Ghidorah. Really love this guy. I cannot get over this one. I've waited too damn long to get this one, but by God, I got him, and he is worth every penny I bought. I am so happy, so happy. They ran out of him at this year's G-Fest, but I managed to snag him on eBay. So yep, very grateful for that. And moving over to this side, we got two Bandai America Mechagodzillas. One that's normal and one that is repainted as the black Mechagodzilla from the series Godzilla Island. The reason why I custom made this one is because that was my old Showa Mechagodzilla Bandai figure, Bandai America, because this one, the head, unfortunately broke apart years ago. And, I was in desperate need to replace it. Thankfully, around the time of either 2018 or 2019. I think it was 2019 because that was when King of Monsters was released. But around 2019, Walmart, oddly enough, was reissuing some of the older Bandai America figures. And one of them was the Showa Mechagodzilla. So I snagged up a new one, which I am grateful for now because I got a regular one and the one that represents the Black Mechagodzilla. So yep, pretty interesting story here. Then, of course, all the way in the back, we got Bandai America Showa guy, not Showa, Final Wars guy again. And he is a bit custom painted. I put in a metallic Sharpie over his body and metallic Sharpie on his claws and everything else. So, yep. And speaking of Final Wars Gaiken, we, of course, have another Holy Grail, one that I got during the beginning of the year. That is, of course, the Great Decisive Battle Monster Arts Gaigan 2004. Yep, really glad I have him because I mainly have him in his modified form with the chainsaws, and he looks freaking badass in it. Really glad for this one. This is definitely one of my favorite kaiju figures so far. Really cannot get enough of this one. And make sure you actually check out my review of him. Be warned that one is actually almost an hour long. Yeah, I talked a lot about this one. So, and can't get enough more Gaigan because we got the Bandai Movie Monster series Showa Gaigan. This is the reissue they did. I do have the Bandai America Gaigan, but that one I'm currently in the process of repainting. Well, I tried to repaint him months ago, but that's not exactly going as well as planned. I'll explain it once I eventually get back to that repaint. But I needed to show a Gaigan to replace him, so I decided to look on this guy, and voila, here he is. And he's actually a lot better than I expected him when I unboxed him. So yeah, happy to collect this one. And another Holy Grail It is the Trendmasters Godzilla King Monsters line, King Ghidorah. So yeah, this was actually when I bought this guy during my second G-Fest, and I was in need of a King Ghidorah in my collection at the time, and my God, I got that King Ghidorah, and he is actually really sweet. While not the most accurate representation of the Heisei Ghidorah, he's still pretty cool, and the fact that he still makes sounds, that's a lot to say. And of course, if you can't tell, I kind of customized him in terms of paint, but yeah, still looks pretty cool though. Moving on, we got the Movie Monster series, Megalon. I'm really glad they finally made a new Megalon, because, you know, Megalon is one of the most popular kaijus around, and, you know, the fact that it took us this long to get a new affordable Megalon, I mean, that's just mind-boggling. And so, yeah, really glad to have him. And definitely a really great figure in hand. Definitely pick this one up if you're in need of a Megalon. Moving on, we got Orga. This is the older Bandai figure. Really glad to have this one. He is super well detailed, and, you know, as MIB would say, Orga in the house. Yeah, we all know that. Here we got the Bandai Vintage Hedorah, which is fitting since Hedorah has been getting a lot of praise from Bandai recently with a lot of repaints. And I have some words to say about that, but, you know, for now I only got, you know, the Vintage Hedorah, and really glad I have this one. This is definitely a unique one to have in terms of representing Hedorah. So yeah, really glad to have that one. Moving on, we got another figure I got this year. This is the Bandai Movie Monster series, Legion, the Mother Legion from Gamera 2, Advent of Legion. So yep, really cool figure. Only issue I had with her was that the white paint was kind of easily a smudge. Like one day I unfortunately found a blue mark that couldn't come off. So, and I'm honestly OCD about that stuff, so it kind of bothered me. So what I decided to do is add some light dry brushing along her, and it actually enhances the detail a bit, honestly. So I'm actually kind of glad I did that, and I did have to repaint some of her tips anyways. They were kind of get scuffed up. But yeah, really cool figure from Bandai, of a monster that hadn't had a Bandai figure ever since her debut. So really glad to have her. Moving on, we got the Movie Monster series, Biollante. Really great to have Biollante in an affordable range scale. Of course, she is inaccurately scaled, as she is obviously a bit smaller. I mean, she's a bit smaller than Legion, but I'm just glad to have a Biollante. Do I wish that they made her bigger? Yes, of course, but, you know, for the only affordable Biollante right now, you know, she's pretty great. And when I mean affordable, I mean, you know, not something, you know, overwhelmingly priced like the older Bandai figure, and of course the SH Monster Arts figures. But yeah, and of course I did got the Chainsaw Gigan here, but, you know, that was only because I was really desperate for a Chainsaw Gigan, and he was decently priced, but I'm not gonna ramble on about that too long. But yeah. Moving on, we got the Bandai Legion. Iris, excuse me. And I should point out that starting with Biollante, this is where we get into the mutant section, but some of them are not present here, which I'll show later on. But yeah, here we got Iris. Yep, Iris from Revenge of Iris. So, which is one of my favorite Toho, kaiju movies. One of my favorite kaiju movies of all time. I love Revenge of Iris. I think it is a fantastic movie. And overall, the Heisei Gamera movies are just fantastic in general. Please, you guys have not seen them, just watch them. They're that freaking good. But anyways, back on with Iris. He is definitely really great. And this is actually the older Bandai figure. I don't have the reissue of him or remold of him. And that's mainly because, you know, I don't really feel like I need it. I mean, this Bandai figure, while older, feel like, you know, it's the only real Iris I need right now. But yeah, moving on. Then of course we got, if Godzilla is watching this, we got his boy, his favorite kaiju, Destroya. Yep, this is the movie monster series figure. Another pretty good one. Of course, is repainted, heavily dry brush in some areas. So yeah, and I may do a video dedicated to some of my custom figures that I did. But yeah, so we got Destroya here, looking pretty cool here. Of course, it is inaccurate scale. He is a bit shorter, but that's okay. I can live with that. Moving on, here we got the Hyper Gauss from Revenge of Iris also. A pretty cool Gauss figure. Definitely need this one because considering Gauss is one of Gamera's most popular foes. So yep, really glad. And I am considering maybe getting to the Super Gauss, maybe. But yeah, over here we got the movie monster series, Space Godzilla. The older Bandai figure, and I have repainted him, of course, because the thing about some of these figures, I've had them ever since I started collecting figures in general. So some of them have gotten paint damage over time. So over time, I would repaint them constantly. And it was around, I want to say 2019 not 2019, I want to say 2020 was when I started to do a wash with them with dry brushing. So yeah, so in the case of Space Godzilla, I added some things, but again, I might do that, and I might talk about some of my custom figures in a later video. But yeah, Space Godzilla looks pretty cool. Then of course, another one of my favorite Bandai figures, the Bandai Bactra Larvae. Yep, really glad to have this one, and quite fitting considering that Bandai is finally doing an Imago figure of Bactra. Yes, the Bactra adult figure from the Moonmon series. Yes, finally. And I don't care if it's lacking paint under the wings. I'm just glad to have an adult Bactra that isn't ridiculously pricey. But yeah. And over here, so an interesting one. Here we got a random spider that I actually customized as Kumonga years ago. I am still thinking of maybe getting a proper Kumonga up here, but for now, this is literally the only Kumonga that I technically have, even though it's not a real figure of him, but that's all I got right now. And on top of quote-unquote Kumonga is the Bandai Servum. Not a bad figure. Honestly, Servum is honestly one of my more lesser favorite kaijus in the Godzilla series. Like, I mean, it's an okay design. It's just kind of generic in a way, but we'll say that for another video. But yeah, so moving on. And actually, before we actually move on to more kaijus, let's get on to with the dinosaurs. Yeah, so yeah, and I want to say the past, ever since 2018, which is when Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was released, I have started to get interested in collecting not only Jurassic World figures, but even dinosaur models here. But yeah, we're actually going to start with Jurassic World figures first. So yeah, and this is mainly a mixture of some Hasbro figures with some, of course, Mattel's work. But yeah, so let's move on here. Actually, starting at the way corner, here we got some of the miniature cactus figures. A pretty cool story. I actually won a giveaway by, oh boy, I kind of forgot their page name. But don't worry, I vividly remember, and I did do an unboxing, before the hacking incident. But yeah, so I did want some eggs in it, and there's actually a funny part of that story also, but I'll get onto that later. But anyways, so the minifigures I won were actually Baryonyx Grimm, the Indominus Rex, and the Sinoceratops here. There were actually 6 eggs, but coincidentally, they were just double at the same figure. So 2 Grimms, 2 Indominus Rexes, and 2 Sinoceratops. So yeah. But yeah, moving on. Here, of course, we got Blue here. This is actually the original Mattel Blue figure from the Fallen Kingdom line. I haven't really had the urge to really pick up any of the newer blue figures, mainly because, even though this one isn't exactly as well detailed, I feel like it's really the only blue I really want right now in my collection, considering how blue is constantly getting repainted over and over and over. But yeah, and she isn't exactly the greatest condition. Actually, funny story, one of her toe claws was broken while I was moving to a new house. But thankfully I had an older raptor toy and I just simply clipped that toe off and glued it back on blue, and you can barely notice it. I think it was that toe actually that was broken out, but you can barely tell because I painted blue claws. But yep, so moving on. Of course, we got Moros here. So yeah, you can see which dinos you can see, which you couldn't. Yep, and of course we got my custom bat react attack or whatever. This is actually the 2009 repaint of this T-Rex from Hasbro, and they actually released some of these figures during 2013, which was when Jurassic Park 3D was being released in theaters, I think. So they released some figures back in Toys R Us, and I had this one over the past few years, and over time it constantly got damaged. So I decided to repaint this one into the red T-Rex from the original Jurassic Park novel. So I thought that was a cool twist to it. Of course, we can see more. Back there we got an original Jurassic Park 3 Dilophosaurus. Funny story about that one, I actually got it for $1 at the garage sale. So it's bargain for sure. Yep. And the way you can kind of see one of the baryonyxes from I think it was the Dino Rivals pack that I did, and Bumpy there, and my custom painted Hasbro Indominus Rex, which definitely looks a lot better than the actual figure. So yeah. So moving on. Not exactly gonna go over all of them, but you can kind of tell which ones you can see. Yep, and over there we got, of course, the Indoraptor here. This was actually the first of the Mattel figures, so that I started collecting the first Mattel figure. So yeah, so this one is the one that started this whole mirage of Mattel figures. So yep, pretty cool there. Of course, we got the Therizinosaurus in the back. So yep, so which one? Of course, we got one of the Raptors here. What up, fuckface? Oh man. Oh, and another one. Sup, fuck faces. Yeah, I'm definitely need to start thinking of ideas for the new series I'm planning. But yeah, of course, this one is an older Hasbro Raptor repainted to the female Raptor from Jurassic Park 3. So yep. So we got a couple of figures. We got Baby Bumpy here. On a motorcycle, Amber Collection, Pteranodon. Yep. Here we got the Dilophosaurus, but repainted because the funny story about this one was that one of her legs was starting to get loose over time, and I tried to fix it, but instead of that, I damaged the plastic paint, you could say. So I was in need of repainting it to make it more presentable, and that's how I ended up with this repaint, but we'll go over that another time. So yeah, we can see back there we actually got two Dominion figures, the Scorpionator and Yanchuanosaurus. Way back we can see the Dinoscape Ceratosaurus. But yep, you can see my figures. Yep. Of course, we got the sought after Troodon from the Attack Pack from the Camp Cretaceous line. Of course, sort of homaging the Telltale Troodon from the Jurassic Park game. So pretty interesting there. Of course, we got the big Scorpionator from the Camp Cretaceous toy line. Pretty cool. Actually, this one actually looked a lot better out of the box when I got it. Not gonna lie, but yep. And back over there, we got the Mega Destroyer Carcharodontosaurus in her cage. So yep, right to the front. And I got some Jurassic Park vehicles from the, I believe it's called Matchbox set. So yeah. course, we got Ford Explorer and the Jeep Wrangler and the vehicles from the Lost World. So, yep, pretty cool. And now onto this portion, we mainly got the big mirage of dinosaur models. So, yep, these are models that aren't necessarily related to Jurassic. Well, except for the big guys, but we'll get into those. But yeah, and I might as well start at the back since, you know, I got these two big boys. We, of course, got the Bandai America Kiryu 2002 and the Godzilla 2004 Bandai 12-inch. Actually, this is the very first Godzilla figure I own. Yep, first one I ever owned, and the one that started practically all of this. Yeah, pretty impressive to think about if I do say so myself. But anyways, and of course we got this random Giganotosaurus I painted a while back. I'm not sure who made this Giganotosaurus, but it's the only one I have right now. I'm not necessarily too interested in the Mattel one since its action feature is but yeah. And also in the back, we got the NECA King Kong. This is the original King Kong from NECA. I don't feel like I needed the repaints or remolds of the King Kong. Only have this one and put him alongside with the dinos because, well, King Kong has a thing for dinosaurs. So yeah. Of course, we got some Fallen Kingdom merchandise. We got one of the decorations I had for my birthday this year. And actually, here we got some Dairy Queen cups from the movie. And turn them. This one is the Indoraptor one. Got a Dr. Pepper can with Rexy. And I had an Indoraptor mask because, well, I went as Indoraptor one time as Halloween. So, yep. And this strange shark in a glass that I got at an aquarium. So, definitely a freaky thing in my collection, but I don't care. It's actually really cool and it's still in good condition, actually. So yeah, and I just put it down here because I didn't have room anywhere else. But yeah, so with those guys out of the way, let's get on to the dinosaur models. Now I kind of divided them into companies right now. On this side, we have the Safari lineup. So we can see here, we got the Diplodocus here, one of my favorite figures in my collection, a really long figure. Yep, because Diplodocus is actually my favorite herbivore, so yeah. Yep, really nice stuff. Got an old Carnegie Gorgosaurus that I custom painted. Really like how this one turned out, actually. But yeah, can't tell. And we got the Carnegie Apatosaurus that I repainted. The idea with this one is that I thought of it being maybe an albino one, but that's a story for another day. Yep. And in this portion here is the Terabyte Batat models. We got the Acrocanthosaurus. Again, we customized a bit. The Dacentrus, Euoplocephalus, and the T-Rex that I repainted with Walking with Dinosaur colors. Yep. And we actually got the Parasaurolophus from the Terabyte Batat lineup. Yep, and then in this small section, we actually have Collectae figures. So yeah, got the Torosaurus, Hatzicopteryx, and Dinokairos. A nice one here. And around here, we got the Schleich models. So yeah, we got the Brachiosaurus, the newer one that they released a few years ago. This was actually the first dinosaur model I made. Well, technically, I actually had the Gorgosaurus and Apatosaurus before it, but it was the Brachiosaurus that I got that really started my hobby of collecting dinosaur models. Of course, aside from the Jurassic World lineup, but yeah. So yeah, we got the Caprosuchus, Dunkleosteus, and Oviraptor. I actually really like the Oviraptor. It's actually one of my favorites from them, but yeah. We have front. We got this. This is if you guys remember, if you guys ever been to Toys R Us in like the early 2000s to 2010s, they may have seen these kinds of figures from their Animal Planet lineup. And this was one of the sets I got with the Amargasaurus. So I had this figure for a while, wanted to repaint it. So I did, and this one actually looks pretty cool, actually. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, really cool Amargasaurus repaint I did. Right here we got the Papo Plesiosaurus. This one I got at the Field Museum during their Jurassic Seas exhibit. I believe that exhibit is closed right now. Kind of sad, but you know, I was glad to visit it once. But yep, it was a pretty cool exhibit, I must say. But yep, so we got the Plesiosaur here, but we got some other Papo figures along here. We got the Iguanodon and the Megalosaurus, aka the Irish Elk. So pretty cool models here. Really love the Iguanodon actually, since you know it kind of represents Aldar from Disney's Dinosaur. And speaking of which, we actually have the McDonald's Happy Meal toy of Ema the Styracosaurus. Really happy to have this one. This is definitely a really unique addition to the collection. But yeah, really happy about that one. But in this small cluster here is Mojo Fun models. So yep, we got their Smilodon. Actually, this is their original Smilodon. And their new Smilodon that they released recently. This one is actually customized as, if you guys can see, actually I might as well pick this one up just to talk a little. That actually customized this one to give it a half tooth to represent half tooth from Walking with Bees. So that is like the main reasons why I got this one, to represent that that particular individual from Walking with Bees. So yeah, pretty cool there. And then the other figures we got their Ankylosaurus, their Brontosaurus / Megacera, and Bigfoot, because I'm actually an avid believer in the Sasquatch legend, surprisingly. So yeah, yep, that's just me. And then moving on, we got some PNSO figures. We got Gavin the Borlapelta and Audrey the Lambeosaurus. These guys look freaking sweet. I actually really love the PNSO figures that I got right now, including these two. And their Microraptor. Yeah, I really love the Microraptor. I love the iridescent blue on this one. Definitely really like obscure dinosaurs, and this one just looks really weird, but I love it. I love the Microraptor. Then we got the older Schleich Quetzalcoatlus. So yeah, of course, this one was a bit damaged when I got it, so I had to repaint it and fix it, but came out pretty good if I did say so myself. And then we got the big boys of the Mattel lineup, at least the main lineup there they did. We got the Real Feel Skin Mosasaur, their original Mosasaur figure. Of course, we got my baby, the Legacy Collection Extreme Chompin' T-Rex, Rexy. Even though they have produced a lot of T-Rexes over the years, including their new Hammond Rex, to be perfectly honest, you guys, I think this is only the real Jurassic Park Rex I'll have in my collection for a while. Unless I can find another one that's like for like a good deal per se. But for now, this Rex will do. And another one later on. Wink, wink. And of course, we got another one of my favorites. This is the Camp Cretaceous repaint of their Spinosaurus. I'm really glad to have this one because I do have the basic Spinosaurus. But that one was a bit too small and didn't exactly feel like the Jurassic Park Spinosaurus to me. But this one does, definitely. I was either going to get this one or the Papo one. I ended up with the Mattel figure, and I am super glad I did. But yep. And then last one on this shelf, actually might as well show this one. This is actually an interesting canvas that I got from my friends where you had to paint it. And actually had a bit of twist to mine because I customized it to represent the jetpack black T-Rex from the game Dinosaur. Probably gonna do a post about that someday, maybe. But yeah. And then of course we got one of my favorite figures. This is the Beast of the Mesozoic Fans Choice Pyroraptor. Even though this is the only figure I got from the lineup, really glad I started off with this one. I cannot get over the Pyroraptor. It's definitely a unique figure in my collection, and I just really love it. I don't think I'll need the Mattel figures of the Pyroraptor. This is probably the only Pyroraptor that I'll do in my collection right now. But yep. So moving on. Now we're going to shift a little bit back into kaijus a bit, as we got the GDF section, as I like to call it. So right here we got the SH Monster Arts Kiryu 2003. Actually, the first Monster Arts that I actually got it at a bargain at Barnes & Nobles, and yep, definitely worth it. Of course, we got the Bandai Moonmon series at Jet Jaguar. This is the original figure though. Don't feel like I necessarily need the reissues right now, but yeah. Then we got the Godzilla Island series. I made Godzilla 2, one that I did repaint it because the paint was kind of getting dirty. But yeah, really glad I got the Godzilla 2. Actually, a surprisingly good sculpt actually. This is actually kind of an underrated sculpt in my opinion, but yeah, really glad to have Godzilla 2. And in the back we got the NECA Gypsy Danger. Don't know why I added Gypsy Danger, because I'm actually not into Pacific Rim that much, honestly. I just thought of adding Gypsy in the collection because, you know, Pacific Rim is famous among kaiju fans, and, you know, Gypsy Danger is a fairly famous character from Pacific Rim, so yeah. Then, of course, we got Singular Point Jet Jaguar. This is the one with his upgraded legs. I'm not a big fan of his more stumpier look, so I waited a bit until Bandai announced his more upgraded form. They did, and I snagged him at G-Fest. Yep. Here we got the Godzilla Island series Mogira. Really cool. As you can see, I put some red Sharpie in these nozzles here to make him a bit more accurate. And then right here we got Mecha King Ghidorah. Really glad they reissued him back in 2018. Again, got him at G-Fest and looking pretty sweet. And if you notice that bag of buildings here, because I normally do hashtag Godzilla Appreciation Sunday by Louis Duran often, I would, put him alongside my kaiju figures whenever I take photos. So, yeah, I haven't been doing that recently because of classes, but hopefully when I have more time and really the motivation to do more frequent posts on them, hopefully I can do those pretty soon, but yeah. Now right here, we actually got some of my books that I have here. Actually, one that I'm reading right now is known as Daughter Darkness by Elisa Charpentier. Yeah, that kind of paused a bit because my battery's dying. I'm not sure if it did. But anyways, we got Daughter Darkness by Elisa Charpentier, aka Alyssa Goji Geek. Yes, she was really awesome to talk to at G-Fest. Really glad I got to meet her and her talking to me and my cousin. And, you know, I've definitely been enjoying the content she's been posting on YouTube. And, you know, and in terms of this book, even though I haven't finished it because, you know, college can be quite exhausting, but, you know, I'm actually really enjoying the story in this one. The main protagonist is, you know, definitely tragic. If you're thinking that, you know, there's a reason why this is dark fantasy material, you guys. Like, this is legitimately dark shit. But yeah, got other books too. Some of these books I have not read in quite a while or at all. Like this one called Dragon Seekers. I got that one from one of my teachers back in high school. But to be honest, you guys, I'm not exactly a big bookworm. I actually only two real books that I had time to read would be the Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park novels. And we got the original one and The Lost World. But yep. And an oddball is Five Nights at Freddy's Silver Eyes graphic novel. There was a time where I was, super invested in the FNAF series. I kind of died down from the hype from FNAF for a little while because, it's just gotten way too complicated for me. But that's a story for another day. Yeah, you can tell other books that I have, mostly comics, especially the ones by IDW, the Godzilla comics. We got Godzilla Rulers of Earth by Matt Frank. He was super awesome to talk to at G-Fest. And we got Godzilla Unnatural Disasters, so pretty cool there. And we got, actually, if you can't tell, this book right here, if I can slightly show, I'm not sure why I put it in this position without the title, but this is actually the complete Guide to Prehistoric Life. This is actually part of the Walking with Dinosaur series. So yeah, I knew I had to get this one. I actually read this book a lot in high school. So yeah. Then we got some other things in the back. Got this mug from the Field Museum. And this Dr. Pepper can is of course Rexy. But of course we got one of my more holy grails right now. We of course got the Monsterverse Godzilla 2004. Did a review on him too. Do check that one out. I made that review to help Chris with his Monsterverse figure because he kind of had some issues with him, but he still loves my boy, my Monsterverse Goji. But yeah, definitely really cool figure. I do really need to make edits of him for the Owl House crossover that I did and with him and Gamera. But yep. Moving on, now we get on to the Earth Defenders selection. So yeah, this is the lowest shelf that I got. So yeah, starting off, we got the Bandai Memorial Box, 40th Memorial Box, I should say, Anguirus. And this is a pretty cool one. Actually, one of the first figure reviews I did, if not the first. So really glad I got him at this year's G-Fest because I was in need of a show at Anguirus, but yep. Then, of course, we got the Bandai Gamera. Again, this is the original figure. Don't really need the new one right now, but that's just me. Of course, we got Rodan. It's got a couple other figures down here as well. Got Singular Point Anguirus here. This is the funny story with the Keptus minis that I got from Jurassic World. I recorded that video because I thought I was getting the Singular Point Anguirus that day. I did end up getting Anguirus, but I actually ended up getting the Keptus figures first. So it was a double unboxing day. So that was pretty hilarious, actually. So we can tell other figures. We got Playmates Gorosaurus, one that I tried looking for, finally found him at G-Fest because freaking scalpers suck, but yeah, I finally got him. But may have paid him a little too much at G-Fest, honestly. But yeah, Playmates Rodent. Also, of course, we got GMK Ghidorah. You might be asking why I put Ghidorah here. Well, this is GMK Ghidorah, and he was a good guy in his movie, but yeah, that's, again, for another story. And then, of course, we got my custom Safari LTD Chinese Dragon I did to make it look like Manda from Final Wars. So, yep, that'd be pretty cool. Then, of course, we got two Bandai America Godzilla 2000s. One regular one that is definitely had some paint scratches over the years, and one that I customized with blue fins to make it look like 2002, but I already got another 2002, but we'll get into that. Then we got a ramen noodle Shin Godzilla bowl that I got for Christmas in 2021, and one of the candy bars from FYE, this time with Mechagodzilla. So yep. Then down here we got Monsterverse 2014 Godzilla. Don't know why he's down here. I was actually doing a comparison with him and the Monsterverse 2004 during his review. So probably gonna move him back up after we cut to the next portion of my collection, which is upstairs. But yeah. But down here we got a few more other things. We got the FYE Godzilla puzzle. I actually took this one time at my gaming club at campus. We didn't finish it, unfortunately, but it was still fun to do it, to see some of the posters brought back to life. But yeah. Then we got this GVK box. I do get a lot of other boxes for my kaijus, but, you know, it'd be too much of a hassle to bring them all out. So we got only this one because I actually hold some cards in there and tags from my other figures. And yeah. And in this box, actually, if I can open this one up, this one I keep my accessories for certain figures like my Monster Arts and I believe some of the Mattel figures, I think. I divide them up in baggies so I won't lose them over time. And thankfully, I never lose any of my accessories. Never, ever. I'm always vigilant, but it was a hassle to divide them all up. So I did, and definitely glad I did. So yeah, so if we can move that up. So this is like the biggest shelf for all my figures, but that's not the end of it because we got a couple more to show off. Here we got the Jakks Pacific 2014 Godzilla. Never showed this one. I actually recently just got this one out of his box. I got this one during my birthday one time. But yeah, and his tail tip did came up, but don't worry, I still have it. Just need to re-glue it one day. But yeah, definitely a pretty big boy. Pretty big boy. And actually glad to have this one considering he seems to be getting more rare each day. But yeah. Then if I can cover this up. So here we got big boys. Really. And I do mean really big boys. So we're actually going to start off here. This is a really cool item. This is actually the Disney Animal Kingdom Carnotaur from the Dinosaur ride. And I'm actually glad to have this one now because apparently the ride at the Dino Land section of Animal Kingdom is apparently getting replaced by Zootopia. Good job, Disney. Yeah, but that's a story for another day. But I'm just glad to have a Disney Carnotaur because Disney's Dinosaur is one of my favorite dinosaur movies. So yeah, but still, screw you, Disney, for that and canceling the Owl House Be Late, Be Early. But yeah, moving on. Then of course we got the two big boys from Mattel here, the ones I actually own. Actually, funny story about these two. I actually got these from at a garage sale last year, and they were the biggest shock to me. Got them for $10 each. So yeah, definitely a bargain for both these. And these are, of course, the Super Colossal T-Rex and Indominus Rex. Since they were badly scratched up because they were owned by kids, I decided to give them TLCs and custom paint them. The Indominus Rex is customized into the Alpine skin from Jurassic World Evolution, the first game. And the T-Rex, as the bull T-Rex are in the Lost World, but actually added a scar to his eye to make him just a little bit more unique. So yeah, really glad to have these two. Definitely a big standout on my table alongside my PS4, which I'm currently trying to play Jurassic World Evolution 2. Yeah, that's kind of a task in on itself, but yeah. And actually on top of my TV, we actually got some certain figures up here. So you can see my reflection. So up here we got some of the Mothras that I got. We got the 2003 Mothra reissue, even though her tag showed the Heisei one, which is super weird. But yeah, and of course I did customize the eye patches under her wings. But yeah, then of course, what I did is I added some floss and just put them on the tags up there. And they're actually holding all these figures super well. I'm actually shocked that they're still holding. And I did tried to test out these will hold up, and they still do. Of course, we got this one. This is the Bandai America Fusion Series Rainbow Mothra. Another one of my first figures that I own, so pretty cool there. Of course, we got the Bandai Theater exclusive Mega Gearus. Coincidentally, since Bandai's reissuing their Mega Gearus, don't really feel like I need it because I got the theater exclusive one, but still pretty cool. There, of course, we got Singular Point Manda. Technically not a flying kaiju, but you know, because he's swimming and it's in a straight pose, I decided to add him up here anyways. But yeah. Then, of course, we got the anime King Ghidorah from the anime trilogy, which not really that great, honestly. But yep, yeah, pretty cool figure. Even though I customized this one because the translucent yellow was a little iffy in my opinion, so I decided to customize him. But yeah, so this is like the main. So yeah, like I showed you, that's like the main shelf that I got here. And actually, before I cut off, we got some smaller things. This is my name tag from this year's G-Fest and these small Godzilla rings. So yep, so we're gonna cut into the next one. So continuing on, we're now in my room. We moved from the basement to my room because my bed is also acts as a double shelves for some of my figures, particularly my Godzillas. So let us start off at the beginning. So yeah, of course, at the beginning, we have Bandai America 1954 Godzilla. Continuing on, nice variety here. Of course, we got my custom-painted Marvel Godzilla. This was originally Bandai Creations brand Godzilla that has went through some hard times over the years. So I need to think of a way to repair him, but also make him a little bit more unique since, as we can see on, I already have the NECA figure. So I just decided, you know what, maybe I could try to make him a different Godzilla. And I saw photos of the Marvel Godzilla thing after watching Monster Island Buddy's video on the Marvel's comics. And I thought, you know, maybe I could try that. And here we are. So yeah, continuing on, most of these is a variety of NECAs, Bandai America, and Bandai Japan figures. Continue on. I have to move on to my bed here. And turning Godzilla 1000, bit crooked. Of course, Chris already has this one because this is his boy, of course. Chriszilla. Of course. Moving on, we got more variety. Of course, we got one of my newer additions I got during the summer. This is, of course, the DX Roarin' Godzilla 2000 Millennium. Still works also. Yeah, and trust me that the sounds are a little bit better in person. But yeah. But continuing on, yep, got a nice variety here. Of course, we got my original 6-inch Fine Wars Godzilla. Of course, been kind of replaced by the Monsterverse one, but you know, I still have this one because he was one of my first figures that I ever owned. So yep. And we continue on to the end. So yeah, so we started with 54, and it ends all the way to the newer generations of Godzillas from, of course, 2014, Shin, Phileas, Earth, 2019, and of course, Ultima from Singular Point. Yep. And the cool thing about my Moving On series Godzilla Earth figure, Spitfire, is that since he has translucent plastic, and I connected some lights into him, he glows. Yeah, and I know a lot of people freaked out when I first tried this on my account, so yep. Yep, pretty damn cool. And then continue on, this small section is like I call the Monsterverse shelf, which is appropriately named since this contains pretty much almost everyone from the Monsterverse. The only monsters I haven't added that have their figure forms would be the Skull Crawlers from Playmates, the Warbats, and the the YMSF Behemoth. But eventually those guys may come in the future, maybe. But I mainly wanted to focus on some more popular ones, such as Kong with the Playmates figure here, the Mutos with the smaller pack of destruction, I think, of Muto and the 6-inch male, and of course the big 4 from King Monster. So of course we got Burning Godzilla here, Rodan, Mothra, both versions of the NECA figure, the original, and of course the bioluminescent version. King Ghidorah here, standing grandly, and of course we have Mega Godzilla in the corner. So yep, pretty damn cool. I'm sure a lot of people were happy when I finally got this one on my Instagram, because it took me a long time to finally get Mega Godzilla. And of course, scalpers made it all the more frustrating. But I finally have him, so I'm pretty satisfied. So yep, pretty nice selection here. And in this shelf here, yeah, starting with this one, I have a lot of my fossils that I keep mostly safe. So yep, the bags that you see here mostly contain my smaller ones, such as, we can pull this for example, some amber pieces. I was originally going to do a fossil collection video before an unfortunate thing happened during the summer, but that's a story for another day. But I'll definitely plan to do a fossil collection video someday. So yep, got some pretty cool varieties. These two are my favorite. Got some Mosasaur teeth. But yeah, this will all be explained in one video. And this small in this shelf, I mostly have some of my accessory for my Monsters, since I don't necessarily use their beams for photography anymore. So they're just mainly put here, so you can see the beam for the Great Decisive Battle Gigan here. But yeah, so there's some examples. And in this final acoustic raw for my collection, I actually might as well show off these two things. Also be part of my fossil collection of these two necklaces. And of course this sweet Jurassic World hat that I got from one of my friends. Thank you Kayla and Tabitha for getting me this one. So yep, they got me this one for my birthday. Oop. But yeah, but of course in this small corner here also, it can't be my collection video without showing the movies that I've got. So yeah, almost all my discs are actually in these two DVD cases. That's mainly because it was during last year. It was with the Criterion Godzilla collection, as you can see here in the corner. Yeah, so I'm sure most of you know about the production failure with that set, where the sleeve for the Blu-ray disc, they started to come apart, and therefore it damages the disc. Unfortunately, at least 4 of my discs from that collection did got scratches, so I was a little bummed. But thankfully, Criterion recognizes the issue, and they were kind enough to send me new versions of the disc. Even though I haven't played them for a little while, since, almost all the Showa Godzilla movies are on YouTube for free. That's a big plus. But yeah, so it was a big bummer at the time, but I'm still pretty fortunate to at least have almost every Godzilla film in my collection now. But yeah, so these are like some of the other disc and movies that I have here. Of course, some of my favorites are the Gamera films. We got Guardian Universe, Attack of Legion, Double Feature, and of course Revenge of Iris. As I said before, fantastic movies. But yep, and of course, ending it off would be the Monsterverse films. Of course, 2014 started it all, but of course we got King of Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong. But yep, and right here we have, what I call my Dino section, even though I got the PS4 Godzilla game, probably because I ran out of room on this section, but it's whatever. But yeah, mostly dinosaur related stuff here. Of course, we got Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2 up top. Of course, you can it's the logo, Jurassic World. I got the Jurassic Park collection, the Blu-ray collection. Of course, Fallen Kingdom. That's another story about the Fallen Kingdom. Actually, with the Fallen Kingdom Blu-ray, is that the one that I keep on getting wouldn't work on PS4, and it wasn't just on mine. Literally, it was on a lot of people. Like, it was a big production fail, so I ended up only getting the DVD, which is fine because the quality was just as fine, and it wasn't like it had an extended version like with Dominion, as we can see here. Which, by the way, extended version of Dominion is better than the theatrical one, but it's saying much. Check out my review on that film. But yeah. And of course, on the very bottom, we pretty much have the Kusakura with the Godzilla card game. Even though I haven't played it in a super long time and I was fairly kind of bad at it, I still really think this is a unique piece in my collection since the artwork and the cards are fantastic. They're probably some of the best art in published Godzilla media in general. So yeah, so definitely have to glad that even though I'm not much of a card playing expert or whatever. But yep. So that's just my small portion of my room. Yeah, so we're gonna end this video off with a nice epic shot of the main shelf in the basement. But yeah, definitely put in a lot of hard work working on both my kaiju and dinosaurs collections, and I must say, even though I may not have the biggest in both collecting worlds, I'd say I have a pretty damn good portion of it. So yeah, so I want to thank you guys for watching, and I especially want to thank everyone who's been following my new Instagram account. I know I haven't updated my YouTube channel on putting that account link. That's because I've been, like I said, insanely busy, but I'll definitely get on that so you guys can follow me on Instagram more once I update my account links on YouTube. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, and again, thank you for the support you've been giving me ever since my hacked accounts. And with this collection video, you can get a better idea on what I'm passionate about and what I mainly collect. So yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys in the next one.